Okay, so macros are a very important function in Microsoft Excel, which everybody should know how to use, but most people don't actually know how to use it, or don't even know that they can record a set of steps that they perform in their daily use, which can shorten the amount of time they spend on working on repetitive tasks. So let's imagine that we want to achieve exactly this table. We have a color coded, we have a special fill on the header, we have the items. Then let's put some conditional formatting. Let's do a sort, ascending it, or let's do descending it then. And let's say this happens every day multiple times, and you want to have just a shortcut that can do all that for you in a flash of a time. So here is how you do it. This is just the example that we want to achieve. I'm going to switch to another sheet. So let's copy. We're going to go, let's say every day you just receive this, and you want to achieve this with just a single shortcut. So here is how it's done. Before you begin, you need to go to the tools on the Mac. On Windows it's a separate menu, but you need to record a macro. That's what you need to do. So once you record, you can just give it a name. Now the very important thing here is where you're gonna save it. The personal macro workbook is a hidden document in Excel, which will allow you that shortcut to stay with every new document that you're gonna create or open, and you can trigger it. If you wanna save it, I'm not gonna save it in my personal macro workbook, because deleting it from that book, from that workbook, is a little bit tedious. You have to unhide the personal book, delete it, and hide it back. So just for the sake of the example and the tutorial, I'm gonna save it to this workbook. You can give it a description, and you can give it a shortcut. And once I hit OK, the recording starts. So right now, from this point on, all your steps will be recorded. So let's say I want to format the table like this. Yes, that's my data. Okay, then I want the conditional formatting. Like this, and then I want to sort it descending. You can do also if you want a font to be bold, if you want to change the sizing, and etc. etc. So right now I'm done with my recording, and once you go to stop recording, okay. Now the macro is recorded. If you want to see it, you need to go to macros. So go tools, macros, and here is the test. Now options. If I go to options, that's where you can edit all those options again if you wanna edit them. So shift. So there you go. If I just hit shift and E, that's gonna change to shift control and E. So let's leave it at that. And let's close that. I'm going to copy the existing table to a new sheet, and I'm just gonna paste the values. So let's just imagine this is actually the data that you're getting every single time, multiple times a day, and you want it formatted and look presentable the way you want it in a flash of a second. So I've pasted it like I told you before. we gave our macro a shortcut. So one way to do it is you can come to this window, you can hit run, and it's gonna run. Let me show you. So this is just in a second. We've got everything that we wanted. We have it formatted as a table, we have a conditional formatting, and we have it sorted by cost descending. But you can also do that with let me repaste the data again. Paste special, just values. But you can do that with just the shortcut. So Control Shift E, that's it. you can see how easy it is to actually record a macro, and it repeats the most used steps that you repeat every single time and all the time during your day. You can repeat them just with a single shortcut that you can set for yourself. Keep in mind that certain things will not be recorded in macro, so you can test it for yourself and figure out if it's going to work completely 100% or you have to do some manual work. I can tell you one thing it's not going to work is conditional formatting right now on Mac. If I go to manage rules, and normally sometimes I'll set a value here, like a number. This is not going to be recorded. The way it's going to record it with lowest value, that's it. So you have to manually come and do this, like that. Once you have recorded a macro, you can edit it. But let's say you're like me, you don't know really how to code the whole thing out, and you want to just add additional steps to your macro. The easiest way to do it is, first I'm going to show you how you edit a macro. So you go to macros, and you select your macro, and then you hit edit. Once you hit edit, you have the code behind your macro. All the steps you did are recorded. If you want to add a step here, what I advise you to do is, go ahead and close that. Record your new step as a new macro. And then go to macros. Let's say you want to do conditional formatting for this one. So what you'll do is record another macro. So step 2, I'll call it step 2. Record another macro, do your conditional formatting like in the example, and stop the macro. Stop recording. Now when you go to macros, you'll see your 2 macros are there. So step 2 is the step that you want to add. So hit edit, step 2 macro is below. There you go, column. What we did first is we selected the whole range of the columns you see. So you start with here, this, and you will go all the way to end with. You're gonna copy this. You see each step ends with end with. So we need to paste it here. We're gonna do paste, and there you go. So now we're at test. We're gonna save it. We're gonna save this, and we're gonna close it. And let's see if we go back to macro, if that thing is what we think it is. So we're gonna delete step 2, so it's not in our way. Then we go macros. Now we have our thing. Then edit. That should have all the thing that we need. So let's give it a test. Let's close the macro window. Let's delete that whole thing. Let's rerun the original. So we're gonna copy this. We're gonna paste special just the values, and then let's just try to run our macro and see if the column C will be also conditionally formatted. Yep, that's it. So you see, that's an easy way to add additional steps to your macro. Well, if you liked the short video about macros, please like or subscribe. Thank you.